Good morning. Today our scripture study is coming from that beautiful chapter of Proverbs 31. I love that chapter. And today we're going to be in verse 27. And it goes like this. She watches over the ways of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. So this is talking about watching over our household. So to understand what this scripture really means is to do some digging into what watching over really means. And so when we think about it, we can put it, chapter 14 of A Woman After God's Own Heart puts it this way. Watching over, if we think about a mama bird, and I get this visual in my mind because up at the mountains this past summer, we had on the porch of our store, there's a little rafter. And up in that rafter was this bird's nest. And in it were, I think, 3 little baby bluebirds. And if anyone knows me and my love of bluebirds and the reason why I love bluebirds, you will know that I was super excited to watch this all take place. And the days I wasn't there, my husband was sending me pictures and just showing me, the little birds in the nest and the mama coming in and feeding them and all of that. And it was this mama bluebird's job to watch over her household, which was the nest and the little baby birds in there. And she did such a great job. She fed them so well. They flourished. We couldn't believe how quickly they grew and how strong they were and how quickly they flew off. And so for days and days after they finally flew the nest, we got to just enjoy watching them fly around from tree to tree. And she just did such a great job of protecting those in her household, making sure they had all they needed to thrive and keeping it safe for them. So as moms, that's what it means for us to watch over our household, to make sure things are going right in our household, to make sure our kids have what they need. If we're married, to make sure our husband has what he needs, and to just keep it a safe place, keep it a nurturing place. If issues come up, tackling them in a way that, honors God and teaches our family. So this applies whether you are married with children, single with children, or if you're just living on your own. You watch over the ways of your household. And so we all have different needs based on our different households. And for a lot of us right now, we are not used to being at home with our children, and we've suddenly found ourselves at home with children. And I don't know about you, but mine have homework packets and requirements from their school that need to be met every day. And so disciplining to do that, making sure there's still time for fun, making sure there's still time for some chores and responsibility, and just pulling that all together in a way that honors the Lord and honors our household. So we find ourselves in that position now. And I'm grateful because I have a partner, I have a husband to help. And so I know some of our listeners don't. And so just know you are especially in my prayers if you're tackling this as a single mom. But just be responsible to make sure that our household is, like I talked about yesterday, that retreat, that safe haven, and watching over it. Some of us have specific duties. Maybe you're in charge of the finances of your home. Maybe you do the grocery shopping. Maybe you're the one that calls the repairman and keeps track of the warranties. Maybe your husband does that. But as we come together as a family, everybody has their little areas of expertise, so to speak, that when we work together, make sure that our household is a home. And then the second part of that is does not eat the bread of idleness. And that's where it can get tricky, because I don't know about you guys, but I love nothing better than curling up with a good book and just getting lost in the story and just kind of escaping for a while. And I can find myself, if I'm not careful, sitting there reading while the world in my household goes on around me. And so when I read this scripture, it takes me to that word idleness. And not that there's anything wrong with reading. I believe reading is one of the greatest things in the world. But making sure that that doesn't take the place of our family time, and making sure that things are going smoothly in the house and things like that. Maybe you're a binge watcher, which is great if we're making sure that it doesn't interfere with watching over the ways of our household. So today might be a day to think about, how do I spend my days in my home? What do I do in my home? Are there places in my day where I am kind of idle and could make some changes? Those are the things that we're challenged in this scripture to think about, ways we can eliminate the idleness. And we could be sitting and binge watching a Netflix series when we could be having a really fruitful conversation with someone in our household. So taking a look and just praying about, how do I watch over my home? How do I make sure I'm not idle? What am I doing to foster this sense of safe haven for my family? And that's the scripture we're studying today. That's the gist of actually the entire chapter 14 of A Woman After God's Own Heart, which I'm currently reading. And just some food for thought for today to think about and ask God to show you. Ask Him to reveal to you all the ways that you are so good at watching over your home, so that you could recognize your gifts and recognize what you bring to your family, and be grateful for those. And then also ask Him to maybe reveal some ways that you could rid yourself of some idleness and do something else that would bless your home and your family. That's it for today. God bless. Have a great day.